Angelic teaching 3, session number 7. Look into my eyes and find peace. Find freedom. Find empowerment. Find faith. If you were to look into your own eyes, what would you see? What are the 3-4 first words that would describe what you do, who you are? Most people will answer to that question by thinking, let me think. Oh, give me some time, I will think of it. The answer is already within. It's you having to connect to yourself in order to find those answers. And the best way to do that is to look at yourself in the mirror. Focus on your soul. Grab a voice recorder or a recording app on your phone. You can even do those exercises by recording with the video. Using a mirror, tripod. And there is always the capacity for you to bring an headset and to be able to focus with that. I'd like you to feel what you're going to feel. Yeah. By looking into your own eyes, to the mirror, you're going to be able to talk to your soul. You're going to be able to look deep into your own eyes, your own soul. When I look at one person, I focus mainly on one eye. The eye that's in front of me on my right side. So it would be their left eye. With the mirror it's a little bit tricky because the mirror, your left side is going to be on the right side. Like right now, for example, with camera, I'm touching my right cheek, but it appears to be my left cheek on the screen, if I look at the screen. So the camera works as a mirror as well. But that's fine. You still can be just looking into one eye. Choose the one you want. I like to be looking at the ones who is on my right side. And just look at to one single eye. See what comes up. You are going to have a lot of emotions coming up. A lot of memories. At one point you probably will see your face morphing as well. And maybe the left side will be different than the right side. almost like you've got two emotions, two expressions working at the same time. And when we'll see this happening, I want you to start clearing those different emotions. It might be seeing like bubbles and cloudy things on your forehead. It might be suddenly focusing and seeing one wrinkle that's more deeper than the other ones, and having your focus, attention focusing on that one more than any other thing. Again, the exercise for you is to aim and look into one single event, one single thing, one single point, one eye. And then you're going to have this peripheric vision that's going to bring you a lot of insights. Even though you might be focusing on one thing, your soul, your subconscious mind is going to focus on the whole full picture. That's why I like to record those things, because that way you can see yourself doing a healing, and the person that you're working on is yourself. How long does the session has to go for? It doesn't have to be long. A few minutes, one thought, a few seconds, 20 minutes. Whatever feels convenient. And progressively, you're going to create almost like a specific connection with your soul. For you to be able to talk like you're talking to one friend. And talking to this friend through energy, through eye gazing. And at one point you're going to be able to synchronize this, for you to be tuned with your soul, for you to be making one, for your soul and your life to be walking on the same path, for your soul to understand where you stand, where you are, what you're facing, and for you to be receiving direct guidance from your soul. You start to feel that the time that it takes for you to connect to that soul part of you is going to become smaller and smaller. It will take you less and less time to be able to connect to it. The intensity of the connection will become greater and greater. The depth of the messages being received will become so much more vivid. Will make so much more sense. Will be very, very precise. I'd like you to start talking to your soul by saying, how could I? What would it take? What would it take for me to be happy? How could I make it happen? How greater could it be? I love that sentence. How greater could it be? How greater could my life be? How greater could my relationship with this person or that person would be? How greater my relationship with my mom would be, etc., etc. You will surprise yourself by being able to state some things and suddenly realizing, I say, wow, did I really say that? Wow. And progressively being able to make this connection with yourself. The more honest you are with the relationship that you build with yourself, the more honest you'll be with your relationships with others. Being able to build, to bring more joy, to bring more truth, to bring more insights. Again, developing your connection between you and your soul by creating this talk allows you to be able to connect more and more with the inner messages that you will receive from your guides, from the outside messages that you will receive from your environment, from people, from your capacity of choosing the right tools to be using at the right timing, for you to be able to embrace all different aspects of you and to be able to blend them into something that would be just quite unique. That's what you're looking for. Again, there is that thing where you might be thinking of creating an amazing tool that's very highly complicated and sophisticated. Guess what? The simpler the tool, the better. It has to be easy. It has to make sense. Again, you're going to be using your skills, your inner gifts. I am very visual, so a lot of my tools are linked to be visual, and they come through images, movies. Maybe you like the perception of things, the feeling, touch of things. So you will have to include that in it. Maybe it's smells that you're created to be dealing with. Maybe it's the noise, the music, the beauty of the music. Start working with all of that. See, there is another thing, is about creating your own rituals. And that I love doing. Creating a ritual with anything, about anything. Mondays, for example, is tooth floss day. At least once a week, and if I feel that I will need more, then I will do more, but at least once a week. And I receive a reminder on my iPhone about this. It's about creating routines. On Wednesdays, I transfer some money from my PayPal account to my business account every single Wednesday. On Sunday, I create, through an app called Sales, a statement of the sales of the week. I take a snapshot of that and I put it in a specific folder. My weekly sale folder. It's all about creating yourself tools that are going to help you achieving the goals that you want. And that can go from any single topic you want. I have different types of reminders per different categories. I have a reminder category for myself, reminding me of the dentist, reminding me of the chiropractor, the haircut, etc. I have a reminder category for everything that is linked to my business. I have a reminder category for friends and all the things that are linked to friends. It's like having your own personal assistant. Guess what? When you start building those tools in your actual life, you ask to have the same topics and tools being given to you to be working energetically. It's like having two parallel lives. One reminder could be each time you get out of your house, creating this amazing bubble or field of energy around you, and receiving a spiritual text message, a reminder that tells you to do that even more. Sending yourself a program that energetically does that for you. You still being aware of it. Now, you've got another tool that I love, and that's really amazing. It's about blending the two. Blending the two different realities and creating your own tool. I give that to you right now. All right. Each time you're about to drive, I like to do a prayer. A prayer I was given by a friend right now. And the prayer is, to my dearest God, and also to Saint Christopher, please be with me on this journey so it may be safe and joyous. Thank you. She's been driving for over 30 years and having no accident. Now, you can be either thinking of that and doing the prayer each time you take your car. You can be writing a note and having that posted above your head so you have to read it each time you get in the car. You can be creating a note or a symbol, a dot, so that dot would represent that thing to do each time you go for it. Or on your key, a red dot on your key or a purple dot on the key of your car. Each time you take that key, you have to think of that. Well, I created another type of tool for that. You can set an alarm on my phone, on my car, for something as soon as you reach whatever, when you start driving. It's like some type of reminders or something like that. So I created a reminder that when I turn the key on and I start the car, it gives a beep after the first 2 seconds. Beep. So every single time I drive my car, I take my car, I have that beep when I start. Guess what? That's my reminder. And for me, that reminder says thank you. I encoded that as a blessing. And I know that if at that time I didn't do my prayer, then that thank you message would be my reminder. So you're going to tell me, John, those are tools, those are things that are funny, but do they actually really work? Well, it's like the parking angels. When you're thinking about getting a parking slot, you visualize a vortex, a field of energy with a parking angel, with an angel. And you visualize as you go towards that place, the sooner you do it, the better. So when you know that you have to drive your car and in 5 minutes you're going to reach one place and you will have to find a parking slot, what I do is I create a white frame in front of me. I stay focused on my crystal ball. That white frame is glowing and I visualize in the frame the picture of the parking slot, or imagine myself going into that parking slot in the car park and finding the parking slot that is waiting for me, and next to it I see my parking angel smiling and welcoming me to get in that parking slot. And I visualize myself smiling and saying thank you. Does this work? Oh yes, it does. And that's quite amazing to witness. I give you a lot of tools today. Remember, if those learnings becomes only knowledge, you become a fool. If those learnings becomes actions, lead to actions, then that means growth. Packing up tools is not going to help you. But having those tools being implemented right away into actions, that's where magic happens. I give you one story. Warren Buffett, billionaire man in US, amazing skills, obviously psychic, but no one's going to know that, right? He perceives the market before everyone, he feels the trends, obviously analyzes them a lot, and he's got those insights where he sees how the market is going to evolve, right? Well, no matter how he uses his tools, I give you the story. Well, Warren Buffett had amazing fears of talking in public, in front of public. So he would be always shy. And when he was 20 years old, Warren decided to invest and go to a seminar called Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie runs seminars all over the planet, helping people to be empowered and being able to showcase their capacity in front of public. He went to that seminar, and the first thing he did when he came back home was to go right away to his university and state and ask to teach. Imagine the step. From being shy in talking in front of people to stepping up after a course and teaching. Well, that's how you make money, huh? You invest from a blockage, from something that was holding him back. He invested into shifting that reality because he wanted something else. And he shifted it that much that he went on the other way around. Instead of becoming a fear and an obstacle, it became a strength. It went from one direction to a totally different direction. That's the beauty of those people. They're able to drive their life, to change upside down their life. And I want you to start thinking of doing the same thing. You see where I'm heading. Until now you've been learning tools, helping people, understanding other realities, but what if you use those tools in order to do some reverse engineering and create your own reality here in this world for you to have a greater life. In which way do you want your life to be greater? How do you want to make it happen? What's exactly that you're looking at? What is it that you wish? The more precise you'll be, the better it will be. It's all about like working. How much time do you want to spend working? What is it exactly that you want? What would be the perfect day for you, or the perfect week? Will one single day will be exactly the same every single day? Would we be totally different from one day to another? What is it that you want? You've got an amazing tool with the vortex, being able to connect to your soul, bringing energies in. But if you don't have the drive of creating something about it, nothing is going to happen. If I talk to you that way, it's because I've seen a lot of people being able to learn amazing skills, amazing things. And at one point, not doing anything with it. Going to a totally 180 degree from where they are. Turning their back to everything. And not understanding, not knowing what to do. So how could you make it happen? Well, it's all about defining what you want. Putting out their priorities. Let's say that you've got a project. You're creating a project, you want to define and work on your project. Well, you have to define time for that, you have to define resources, you have to find the skills. See what I mean? Now, let's use the time that we've got in order to increase and build up our strength, our faith, our vision, our empowerment, and all the skills that define who we are. Right? Look into my eyes. And bring it in. Stay focused on your crystal ball. Focus, breathing in and breathing out gently. Release those emotions from your heart and your chest. Bring more peace within. Feel those values that are in and that are within you. Feel those different frequencies as they blend in. You realize that we are not working with one frequency, this time we're working with several at the same time. And I want you to start perceiving those different frequencies coming towards you as being coming through different layers all at once. The download that you're receiving from this vortex, it's almost like the vortex has different layers. One layer will be the strength, one layer will be the empowerment, and you could have different series of buttons. The same way, it's almost like having different vortexes that you're dealing with being all aligned on top of each other and having those different filters coming through. And those vortexes are blending with each other, but at the same time it's like Photoshop having different layers. It's the first time we do that. It's the first time we use on a same plan different layers. Until now, we were creating different vortexes, one at the top, one on the left, one on the right, the back, and we could be using those different vortexes as bringing different type of energies. Now, for the first time, we are blending from one physical form, physical location. We are creating different layers of different vortexes. And those vortexes you can actually work on each of them separately. So realize now that you can feel actually the content being delivered to you as working on different levels. Because right now we are working on bringing on each of those different layers something like one capacity of yours, right? The strength, the faith, the empowerment, or something else, whatever it is. You can be, let's say you work with 4 different vortexes on top of each other. And each of those vortexes are not interacting with the other one. It's like being connected to 4 different devices that are streaming at the same time, right? You've got your radio, you've got the television, you've got someone talking, etc., etc. Now imagine that what you can do is that tool. You can be, let's say you've got 4 different vortexes, you can be defining one as being the connections that you're going to have with your guides or with certain guides. So you're going to be able to hear those voices and messages and guidance. The second one would be downloads. As you're increasing your level of frequency, you're able to tap into those knowledge, and then you want to receive those downloads, pockets of downloads, programs that are going to be open within you to do like some upgrades of your own soul. And there would be another field of energy that is linked to the healing, the things that you want. Remember when I told you, Angelic Vortex Certificate, I told you that we were going to be dealing with a lot of different types of frequencies, and you will have to be really centered and focused on your soul. That's exactly what's happening. It's being able, through different voices and content being received, to be able to be still, and at the same time being able to acknowledge all those contents coming towards you and being able to respond to all of them simultaneously if needed, and to be accurate. How do we deal with all of that? How do we deal with all of that? That's the beauty. It's called faith. You want to be able to have different things coming towards you. And to be able to embrace all of that. I love that. I love that. Capacity of being able to interact with different worlds at the same time. To be in different worlds at the same time. And being still here present. How many worlds can we be working on simultaneously? There are no limits. What counts is the need of them. Do you really need to have that many open at the same time? Is it a purpose for you to do that? Or is it just something that you want to be proud of or to be bragging about? If you start visualizing yourself like as juggling with different dishes at the same time, you know, like those Chinese working with plates and just spinning those dishes on some sticks and playing with several at the same time. If you visualize yourself doing that, that's not going to be good, because you know how the story is going to end. At one point you're going to deal with too many dishes and those plates are just going to drop and you're going to feel overwhelmed. And then your self-confidence is going to be challenged. So you don't want to be working like that. You want to be working differently. You want to be working smartly. You want that the right vortex will be open at the right time, because that's the right thing to do. Now we've got a few minutes to talk about one other subject, and we mentioned it a little bit earlier, about those contents, those programs, those packages of downloads that you receive that are going to be open progressively in order to increase and boost and upgrade your own soul. How does that thing work? Well, it's like your phone. You receive upgrades of the actual program that runs the telephone. And as your level of frequency increases, you're able to handle more sophisticated program. So you just download the new version. How great is that? The greatest thing about it is that you can actually ask for specific upgrades. I want to have a greater mind. I wish to be more happy. I wish, etc., etc. Are we just saying here that you can re-encode your own matrix? Yes, it is exactly that what we're talking about. Re-encoding who we are and building a new self. This last sentence is huge. Actually, you can become whoever you want. You want to check one guy called Tim Ferriss. He's got creating a lot of different books, a lot of different contents. One of his favorite books is The 4-Hour Week. A lot of tools, a lot of interviews, a lot of amazing people delivering their content. And the last of his book is called Tools of Titans. Tools of Titans. What an amazing title. What would it take for one person to be able to showcase so many skills, so many capacities, that they become the leader in their field? Well, I show you the book. That's the book. Tools of Titans. Again, remember, the knowledge has to be implemented into actions in order to help you grow. Wish you all the best. Talk to you soon.